Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 Here is the Z107.7 local news for Friday, April 4th, 2025. A fallen electrical line complicated the extinguishing of a house fire in Joshua Tree, but no injuries were reported. On Thursday, just before 9:30 p.m., crews with San Bernardino County Fire responded to a report of a structure fire near Sunburst Avenue and Highland Street in Joshua Tree. Crews say they arrived to find a single-story, single-family dwelling that was well involved with fire. Crews confirmed that there was no one inside of the home and said that the wire connecting electrical poles to the home, known as the electrical drop line, had fallen and was identified as a safety hazard for first responders. Despite the downed line, 3 engines from County Fire and an additional engine from CAL FIRE were able to knock the fire down within 30 minutes. Southern California Edison responded to resolve the down line, and the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department confirmed that no one had been currently living in the home. No injuries were reported. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department announced that they will be out in 29 Palms tonight looking for drivers under the influence of drugs and or alcohol. The Friday initiative, which will take place from 4 p.m. to midnight, utilizes funding from the California Office of Traffic Safety through the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. San Bernardino County sheriffs remind the public that impaired driving is not just from alcohol. Some prescription medications and over-the-counter drugs may interfere with driving. While medicinal and recreational marijuana are legal, driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal. Drivers caught driving impaired and charged with a first-time DUI face an average of $13,500 in fines, as well as a suspended license. Tonight and tomorrow, residents of 29 Palms are encouraged to participate in strategic planning meetings that will shape the future of the city. Reporter Heather Clisby has more.
Every 2 years, the city of 29 Palms hosts strategic planning meetings whereupon it indulges in self-reflection. Who are we? Who do we want to be? And most importantly, where are we going? Nestled between 2 major federal entities, Joshua Tree National Park and the world's largest Marine Corps training base, the town is looking to its nearly 29,000 residents for guidance. Tonight, April 4th, a departmental overview will take place at City Hall Council chambers from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. This will help residents understand what these 75 or so city employees, both full-time and part-time, are up to and where they are deployed. Tomorrow, Saturday, April 5th, is when the real brainstorming begins. Participants should come to the Freedom Plaza Gymnasium at 10 a.m. with constructive feedback and useful ideas. In a press release, City Manager Stone James asked residents to envision an ideal future 20 years out. The session will likely seek balanced answers to that inevitable fine line: how do we preserve the unique magic of our city while also fostering economic growth and tourism? If you have visions or solutions, the city wants to hear from you. A professional strategic planning facilitator will keep the day on track. Residents can comment publicly and submit written comments on poster-sized pages along the gymnasium walls. For those who cannot make it, the city clerk will accept written comments up until mid-April, and an online survey will be available soon. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Heather Clisby.
A particularly challenging patch of desert road was tackled by a hardworking crew of community members just in time for the April 5th community breakfast at the Copper Mountain Mesa Community Center. Here's Annalise Kuiper with details.
On a windy Tuesday morning, a group of Copper Mountain Mesa community neighbors gathered on Winters Road in Joshua Tree to assist with filling potholes. A 2-mile stretch of road with particularly jarring craters was tackled and filled with cold patch. Greg was at the helm of his backhoe and brought the coal tar material to patch the potholes, while Kip, Beth, Steve, Spider, Matt and his daughter, Grant, Mike, and the rest of the crew sported an assortment of tools with which to fill, rake and pound the cold patch into each pothole. The operation was successful and the potholes are filled, for the time being anyway. Just in time for the all-volunteer breakfast this Saturday, April 5th. The drive will be smoother up to the Copper Mountain Mesa Community Center, located at 65336 Winters Road in far north Joshua Tree, From 8 to 11 a.m., a most delicious breakfast will be served for $12 per person, including coffee, or $6 for a senior half portion or child's plate. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Annalise Kuiper.
The Art Colony of Morongo Valley presents the opening reception for the 7-artist show called Writers in Their Art, the Art and Magic of the Written Word, this Saturday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Art Colony in Covington Park. Reporter Gabriel Hart has the show's lineup of local artists.
Writers and Their Art, the Art and Magic of the Written Word, is a collaborative group show featuring both visual and literary artists, including Jenny Bate, Bonnie Brady, Paul Donaldson, Chris O'Hart LaFay, Allison Ford Perez, Cindy Ryan, and Elliot Rizzo. Artwork will be on display as well as being read to attendees. The artist's work will be available for purchase throughout the month of April at the Art Colony's Gallery and Gift Shop, located at 11165 Vale Street in Morongo Valley. This event is free and open to the public. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Gabriel Hart.
The City of 29 Palms, along with Burtech, is sponsoring a free community cleanup event at Lucky Park tomorrow morning. They will be accepting household trash, scrap metal, mattresses, yard waste, electronics, appliances, and mixed recycling such as paper, glass, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard. They will not be collecting tires, construction debris, batteries, or household hazardous waste. The event will be in the parking lot of the Lucky Park Activity Center in 29 Palms from 7 a.m. to noon. They ask you to enter on Wainwright Avenue. Illegal desert dumping is a problem for everyone, and those who choose to dump trash don't always do it in an easily accessible spot. This Saturday and Sunday, a group of off-road enthusiasts and desert defenders are gearing up to get out deep in the desert for a trash cleanup, and it starts right here on Sunfair Dry Lake, right in Joshua Tree. Joining us with more is online news editor Robert Hayden.
Join Joshua Tree Off-Road and the Desert Cleanse Project for a community cleanup and off-roading adventure this Saturday and Sunday just east of Joshua Tree on Sunfair Dry Lake. On Saturday morning, meet up on the lake bed at 9:30 a.m. for a trail cleanup with Colin from the Desert Cleanse Project. Two-wheel drive trucks and cars are welcome, and there'll be overnight camping, so bring out your gear, sit by the campfire, and enjoy the stars after a hard day's cleanup. Then on Sunday morning, there'll be beginner-friendly trails for those with an all-wheel drive or 4x4 vehicle, along with more challenging trails in the afternoon looking for those to push their limits. Anyone is welcome in any vehicle, and it's recommended to bring trash bags, gloves, and sturdy clothing for the cleanup. Don't forget to bring water and snacks and camping gear if you plan on staying overnight. It all starts Saturday morning at 9:30. We'll have directions to Sunfair Dry Lake as well as links to Joshua Tree Off-Road and Desert Cleanse Project's Instagram, where they both have plenty of info and great videos of some of the amazing public lands that are explorable both on foot and overland on vehicle. That's all at Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
The butterflies are emerging from their cocoons this spring, and as they make more and more appearances throughout the Morongo Basin, you can attend an appreciation of butterflies tomorrow at the Morongo Basin Historical Museum. Joe Zarkey, a retired National Park Service ranger with 38 years of experience, and Marilyn Lutz, a dedicated butterfly researcher, will share their knowledge and passion for these remarkable pollinators. Their presentation, based on their 2022 book, The Butterflies and Skippers of Joshua Tree National Park, will cover the lives of butterflies found in the Morongo Basin and the importance of native plants in their survival. The event is called In Praise of Butterflies, an appreciation, and it begins tomorrow at 11 a.m. at the Morongo Basin Historical Museum, located at 632 Landers Lane in Landers. The event is free, but donations are appreciated. And finally, tomorrow, the 29 Palms Art Gallery is having the opening reception for April's 3-artist group show featuring assemblage artist David Isaacson, photography by William Walsh, and experimental paintings by Susan Kearns, the latter whose work goes beyond expressionism. Reporter Gabriel Hart spoke to Kearns at her studio/salon in Landers.
Painter Susan Kearns says her work subject matter consists of the odd and unusual people, places, and things of the desert where she's lived for almost 10 years. Kearns employs a variety of methods, constantly pushing the boundaries of traditional expressionism by integrating unconventional materials, layering textures, and embracing the unexpected results.
They are explorations in different paints that you wouldn't think would be used in fine art. I get a lot of my stuff from Home Depot, or people give me paint, old paint, house paint, stains. I combine that with fine art materials.
Kearns is calling her section of April's show Experimentalism Off the Grid, a reference to her solar-powered off-grid compound she shares with her husband, Pat. She says living in the remote area of Landers can be limiting for access to traditional materials, which can force an artist to get even more creative. So you use stuff other than paint, so you repurpose material?
I repurpose things and like all kinds of materials, and the lack of art supply stores, like I don't even know where the closest art supply store is, other than like mail ordering, and even that's a challenge here sometimes because you can't get certain things shipped. Just started going to Home Depot to get stuff, and it was out of necessity. I think I paint on pieces of wood mostly. I use sand, and sometimes I'll mix it in like spackling material to create texture, clay, dust. We cleaned our chimney. One of my paintings has chimney soot in it. we did a chimney sweep, and I saved the soot, and I used that as an art material. So yeah, I get pretty creative.
When I asked Kearns how she picks her subjects, she said it's all inspired by the desert, yet none are an exact representation of the places, people, or things she depicts from memory.
I usually paint from memory, and it's not an exact representation of where, the place. It's just kind of like my interpretation of it. I get some interesting results. And then I do a lot of animals, and sometimes I'll paint them as like half human, and they become like these like iconic figures.
The group show featuring Susan Kearns, David Isaacson, and William Walsh runs from April 5th to April 28th at 29 Palms Art Gallery. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Gabriel Hart.
That's our local news. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.